If I'm being brutally honest, then if your wallet had feelings, it would be filing a restraining order against you right now. You're not broke because the universe hates you. You're broke because you're unknowingly feeding your money to a bunch of sneaky, toxic habits that are sucking your bank account dry faster than Netflix cancels your favorite show. Look, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. If your idea of budgeting is checking your account and praying it's not negative, we've got work to do. If payday feels like a brief romantic fling before your money runs off with bills, subscriptions you forgot about, and overpriced coffee, then this video is your financial intervention. Today, we're breaking down the 7 money habits that are quietly robbing you blind. And the best part? Once you spot them, you can kick them out of your life faster than a toxic ex. So buckle up, grab your calculator, and let's expose the money-sabotaging nonsense once and for all. Habit number 1. Lifestyle inflation. The biggest and most common habit is letting your lifestyle expand the second you get more money. You land a raise or a better job, and instead of your savings growing, your spending grows. Your rent gets a little higher, your car gets an upgrade, you start eating out more, and suddenly you're right back where you started, living paycheck to paycheck, just with nicer stuff. This is lifestyle inflation, and it's a trap. It's often fueled by the perfectly curated lives we see on social media, creating a quiet pressure to keep up with people who are, let's be honest, probably faking it anyway. You're essentially financing a fantasy. Real wealth isn't built on bigger bills, it's built on growing your assets. So how do you fight it? You need a budget. And the first step is to get brutally honest with yourself. Track every single penny you spend for 1 month. It might be painful, but it will show you exactly where your money is really going. Once you see it, you can spot the non-essentials, the daily coffees, the 3 different streaming services you barely watch, the constant takeout, and start redirecting that cash. The goal isn't to live a life of misery, it's to live below your means so you have the breathing room to build a secure future. Habit number 2. Managing money without budget. This leads me right to my next point. Trying to manage your money without a budget. That's like trying to drive across the country with no map, no GPS, and a blindfold on. You're just guessing, and you're pretty much guaranteed to end up lost. When you don't have a plan, you're not telling your money where to go. You're just left wondering where it went. A lot of people hear the word budget and think it's code for no more fun ever. In reality, a budget does the opposite. It gives you freedom because it puts you in control. If you want a simple framework that's perfect for getting started, look up the 50-30-20 rule. It's incredibly straightforward. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your needs. This is the must-have stuff like rent, utilities, and groceries. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff like dinner with friends, shopping, and hobbies. And the last, most important 20%? That goes straight to paying off debt and building your savings. It's a balanced approach that makes sure you can live your life and build your future at the same time. Habit number 3. No emergency fund. Living without an emergency fund is like walking a tightrope with no safety net. One unexpected event, a surprise car repair, a medical bill, a sudden job loss, can knock you off balance and send you straight into high-interest debt. It's a vicious cycle that's tough to break. Without that financial cushion, you're always just one crisis away from a disaster. You're constantly playing defense with your money instead of offense, and that underlying stress makes it impossible to get ahead. The game plan is to build that safety net, even if you have to start ridiculously small. The end goal is to have 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses tucked away. I know, that number sounds huge. So don't start there. Start with a mini goal. Save your first $1,000. The trick is to make it automatic. Set up a recurring transfer from your checking to a separate, high-yield savings account the day you get paid. Even if it's just $1.25 a paycheck, those small, consistent deposits will build a powerful buffer over time and give you something priceless: peace of mind. Habit number 4. Emotional spending. We have all been there. You had a terrible day at work and a little voice in your head whispers, "I deserve this." That "this" is usually a new gadget, an online shopping binge, or a fancy dinner. That, my friends, is emotional spending, and it's a silent budget killer. Those little treat-yourself moments feel harmless, but they add up fast and leave you with a pile of regret. This habit is pure psychology. We spend to cope with stress, to celebrate, or to chase a quick hit of happiness. But using your credit card as a therapist is a temporary fix with long-term financial consequences. To break this cycle, you have to create a pause between the impulse and the purchase. Try the 24-hour rule. When you want to buy something that isn't a true need, force yourself to wait a day. That cooling off period gives you time to think, do I really need this, or am I just feeling something? More often than not, the urge disappears. And just as important, find ways to reward yourself that don't cost money, like going for a hike, calling a friend, or getting lost in a good podcast. Alright, if any of these habits are hitting a little too close to home, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you're serious about changing your financial story, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm curious, which one of these habits have you struggled with the most? Let me know in the comments. Just admitting it is the first step to beating it. Habit number 5. Ignoring debt. High-interest debt is like an anchor dragging you down. Whether it's from student loans or, more often, credit cards, the habit that keeps people stuck is treating plastic like free money and only ever making the minimum payment. Making minimum payments is like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a teaspoon. The debt never ends. We've normalized debt, but carrying high-interest balances month after month is a guaranteed way to sabotage your own wealth. Every dollar you pay in interest is money you are literally setting on fire. The solution is to get aggressive. You need a battle plan. One of the most powerful is the debt avalanche method. You throw every extra dollar you have at the debt while making minimum payments on the rest of your loans. Once that one is gone, you take all the money you were paying on it and roll it over to the next life-sabotaging debt. This strategy saves you the most money in the long run. And from now on, treat your credit card like a debit card. If the cash isn't in your account to cover it, you can't afford it. Habit number 6. Putting investments last. A huge habit that keeps people broke is confusing speculating with investing. You see a meme stock, a new cryptocurrency, or some must-have collectible blowing up online, and you jump in, hoping for a quick, massive profit. That's not investing, it's gambling. True investing is about long-term growth and carefully managing risk. Speculation is about making high-risk bets on short-term price movements. It's fueled by a fear of missing out and the promise of getting rich quick. But it's a dangerous game. For every person who gets lucky, countless others lose their shirts because these speculative assets often have no real underlying value to support them. The plan is to separate your serious money from your play money. Your core wealth-building strategy should be focused on proven, long-term investments like investing in a business. This is the money for your future. If you absolutely want to get in on higher-risk assets, only use a tiny percentage of your portfolio that you would be completely okay with losing. This protects your financial future from the wild swings of pure speculation. Habit number 7. Credit cards. The final habit is collecting credit cards like they're Pokemon cards. Look, a credit card is a useful tool for building a good credit score, but having too many of them is a recipe for disaster. Multiple cards ramp up the temptation to overspend and make it a nightmare to track all the different balances and due dates. When you have multiple lines of credit open, it creates the illusion that you have way more spending power than you actually do. It's a slippery slope that can lead to racking up balances on several cards at once until you're drowning in debt from all directions. The game plan here is to simplify. Use debit cards instead of credit cards. The best strategy is to use your card for the rewards and security, but to treat it like a debit card. That means you only make purchases you know you have the cash to cover, and this is the most important part. You pay the entire balance in full every single month. That way, you won't have to worry about paying hefty fees on the cards that will suck your bank account dry faster than you can eat a McDonald's burger. So, let's recap. The 7 habits holding you back are lifestyle inflation, winging it without a budget, having no emergency fund, emotional spending, mismanaging debt, speculating instead of investing, and juggling too many credit cards. Recognizing these patterns in your own life is the biggest step you can take. The good news is that you have the power to break them. And you're not in this alone. According to a 2025 Bank of America study, 72% of young adults are actively taking steps to improve their financial health, like saving more and cutting expenses. Being broke is a temporary situation. Staying broke is a choice. By swapping these destructive habits for intentional, positive ones, you can take back control of your money and start building a life of financial freedom. The power is in your hands. So, have you ever used too many cards? Comment below, and do let me know if you found this information helpful. Watch more game-changing videos on becoming a billionaire and hit subscribe to fuel your journey with elite-level strategies to attract unstoppable wealth. Like and share this content with your friends and family.